Chapter 31. Vietnamese is spoken here. I can understand the manicurists, even the ones who talk fast. They never whisper back and forth about their customers' nails. They talk about their lives. While they file and buff and paint, I hear their stories, which are nearly all about husbands and children and other family members. Many of them are related to one another cousins and sisters, mothers and daughters in laws. They are a tribe. They don't know what I hear is hurtful, because even as they complain about bad men or lazy kids, the pain for me is seeing how they are so connected to one another and to their families and to the world. These women wrap themselves in their stories from the minute they walk through the glass door until the second they leave at the end of the day. They use words to build something that is as real as cloth. And while they complain in lower voices about one another, they are joined by blood and circumstance and shared experience. They are part of something bigger than themselves, even if they don't realize it. I do. I have seen trees that survive fire. Their bark is burned and their limbs are dead branches, but hidden under that skeleton is a force that sends a single shoot of green out into the world. Maybe, if I'm lucky, that will one day happen to me. But right now, I can't see it. Patty is at the front desk. Everything in here is white. The reception area, the manicure chairs, the floor, white equals clean. I'm pretty sure that with the exception of the color red, Patty would be pleased if every other shade in the world disappeared. That's how she sees things. She has schedules and rules and methods, and every day she does her best to impose these on the world, one chipped fingernail repair at a time. My mother used the old expression, there's a place for everything and everything should be in its place, but she didn't practice it. Patty does. I would say that with the exception of me sitting in the back of the salon, she is winning the battle. Patty is adding up something on a calculator when the phone rings. After she says hello, I hear, "Today?" I look over because I'm now an expert in her voice. And while it is even and unemotional, I still heard something different in it. The person on the other end of the phone line is doing all the talking. Patty shoots a look to the back of the salon and our eyes connect. This must be the call where she officially gets rid of me. I hear her say, "I work until 6:30." Patty looks out the window. She's struggling now. I want to make this easy for her. I get up from my spot in the back, I fold up the furniture pad, I close my computer, and I take off my glasses. I breathe deep. I know that I've been nothing but a problem. I've tried to be invisible, but just my presence here has changed the dynamic of the situation. Kwang Ha was mad before, but now he's a volcano when we cross the alley at night to the garage. Mai puts on a good front, but even she seems tired of the whole arrangement. I need this to be easy for Patty. She has been good to me, so I turn to face her and I do my best to smile. I want this smile to say that I am grateful for what she's done for me. I want it to say that I'm sorry for being broken. I want it to say that I understand her situation, so I'm trying. I really, truly am. But my teeth stick to my lip and my whole mouth quivers. Patty sees my creepy grin and turns away. I hear her voice shaking now, say, "We won't be there until 6:45. Is that too late?" Patty hangs up and right away dials a number. Her even disposition is one of her best qualities, and she's maintaining it. Sort of. Maybe that happens when you have been through a lot, and all of your edges are worn off, like sea glass. Either that, or you shatter. Bakersfield is 130 miles from the Pacific Ocean, but I drove to the beach just out of Santa Maria with my parents once. There was a short period of time when I was obsessed with the study of ocean, since it takes up more than 70% of the planet. But on the two times that we went to visit, I was afraid. The unpredictable current and the vast, complex system of wildlife that resides beneath the churning water gave me hives. Literally. I was a body of bumps. So I admire Patty's composure. I knew that my time here wouldn't last long, and today is the proof. I find myself always waiting for bad news now, so it's almost a relief to get some. I walk to the front counter. I hear Patty saying, "A woman called from Child Services. They're doing a home visitation today." Once I'm close, she shoots me a look and then hits a button, and suddenly Dell's Duke voice is on speakerphone. Well, it's pretty obvious you don't live at my place. Patty only shrugs and says, It's temporary, he says. Why did you use my address? What's wrong with where you live? Patty ignores the question. She says, Let's start by taking a look at your apartment. I hear Dell slamming something, his fist into a file cabinet, his head onto a desk. I can't just leave. I mean, I'd have to take a sick day or... Patty hits the speakerphone release button and Dell's voice is cut off. Then she says, Come get us. We'll be here waiting. She puts the receiver back into the cradle and returns to her work. She says again, to no one in particular, temporary. Chapter 32. It isn't long before Dell's Ford swerves into the parking lot. He gets out of his car as if his hair is on fire. I should be freaking out like Dell, but I find myself mimicking Patty's attitude. My edges are gone. I'm sea glass. If you look hard, you can see right through me. There isn't much discussion. Patty and I get in Dell's car and we drive across town. 10 minutes later, we arrive at 257 Heptad Lane. I look up at the apartment house. It appears to be a building constructed by a blind contractor who didn't use an architect. The proportions of the place are all off, and not in a provocative way. It looks like someone took an enormous box, painted it the color of Serratia marcescens, which is a rod-shaped pink bacterium that grows in showers, and cut a hole in the sides. I'm somehow not surprised that Dell Duke lives here. We follow the counselor up a dark stairwell to the second floor, where he opens a door. He's mumbling now. I wasn't expecting company. I'm not prepared for visitors. I need to put a few things away. He then quickly shoots like a trained hamster through a crazy maze of stuff. We hear a door shut in an unseen hallway. I wonder what he needs to hide, because there is enough in here in his living room that should mortify him. Dell Duke is obviously one of those people who have issues throwing things away. Maybe he doesn't have full-blown dysphobia, which is hoarding, but he's on the same playing field. The old me would have taken a lot of pleasure in a first-hand look at such a complex emotional condition, but not now. Patty and I stand in the entry and stare at the stacks of newspapers, magazines, and mail surrounding the discount lawn furniture, which I decide is the exact color of a white rabbit's eyes, pink with a drop of yellow mixed in. The complete patio set called Masculine Salmon on a manufacturer's tag sticking out from one of the cheap metal chairs has cut distinct circles in the wall-to-wall carpeting. I step deeper into the room so that Patty can close the door, and I find myself next to an outdoor umbrella still encased in a cloudy plastic. It's propped against the wall. I feel its sadness. I trail behind Patty down a narrow path to the kitchen. Towers of sloppily rinsed microwave trays are on most of the counters. Off to the side, I see teetering columns of red disposable cups. I realize that I have not had great exposure to other people's ways of living. I had never seen the kind of garage setup that the Winds have going, and looking at this place, I understand that there are clearly whole lifestyles that have been kept from me. Dell Duke is chartering a different course. If this is what he has in the open, I'm now curious to look in one of his closets. Patty must have had the same thought because she moves out of the kitchen, through the clutter of the living room, back to the tight hallway. I follow, but with some caution. This looks like the kind of place where an unexpected exotic animal might appear, the illegal kind that people buy on a whim in the back rooms of pet stores, but then later set free in an alley because they can't control the razor-sharp claws or the eating demands. The door of the first bedroom is closed, but that doesn't stop Patty from turning the knob and opening it. We both now see Dell stuffing an oily-looking sleeping bag into a nylon sack, but there are no dead bodies or anything, at least not in plain sight. It's just a super messy room. Comic books and magazines are strewn next to the bed, which doesn't have sheets or a mattress pad. The necks of empty wine bottles poke out of a metal garbage can, the sort that should be outside in the corner. It takes only an instant for Patty to find the handle on the closet door. Dell shouts, "No!" But it's too late. Patty has opened the levered door to reveal a wall of underwear. There are hundreds of them. I used to enjoy estimating quantities, but not anymore. I know with certainty that in the past this would have really interested me. Patty steps back as Dell sputters, I'm behind on laundry. This is truly an understatement. Patty looks from Dell to the underwear and then to me. It seems obvious that there is no way that I could ever appear that Patty and her kids live in this apartment, but I'm wrong. I'm not sure what flipped her switch, but maybe it's the size of the challenge. We are back in Dell's dusty Ford now, heading under Patty's direction to the Salvation Army on Ming Street. Minutes later, we all stand in the front counter of the secondhand store. Patty has picked out a red Formica table with 4 nondescript dining chairs, a stuffed lemon-colored sofa, and a leather lounger that swivels in a complete circle. She has the tags for a metal frame bunk bed with mattresses that appear at one time to have belonged to a military enthusiast. Worn Semper Fi stickers cover most of the railing. It isn't until Dell's credit card is out that he has the courage to ask, "How are we going to get all this stuff back to my place?" Patty, without explanation, heads straight out the glass door to the sidewalk, leaving Dell to complete the transaction. Dell and I find her standing outside at the curb next to a truck that says "We Haul." The 2 men who get out to help us are named Esteban and Luis. They have well-developed packing skills. It doesn't take them long until they have all the furniture tied down in the back of the very worn-looking pickup. Upon arrival at the Gardens of Glenwood, the 2 men carry everything up the flight of stairs to Dell's apartment without even breaking a sweat. Patty supervises. Dell stays out of the way. I'm the silent observer. Now all we have to do is get rid of his junk. Patty thrusts a detailed list into Dell's hands and orders him to the market. Once he is gone, she positions me with Luis and Esteban in a line where we form a human chain. There are only 4 of us, but using this ancient means of transportation, months of trash leave the building. Dell returns 2 hours later, and most of his stuff is now in the building dumpsters. He says it was his plan to take it to the recycling center. But I know that he is lying. He doesn't seem upset that we got rid of his things, so I guess he's not a hoarder. He just has trouble with follow-through.